if you hit shots like this, but you want to hit shots like this, watch this video. Hey fellow indoor golfers, today on Gerald's Corner, we're going to talk about impact mechanics. Okay, so for impact mechanics, one of the biggest things I saw in years of teaching was people coming into impact and essentially adding loft to the golf club. What I mean by that is, if you have a 7-iron, it has a measured loft from a static position. Most professionals will actually slightly de-loft that club is what they'll call it. I don't think it's that, I think it's just achieving loft. Most amateurs actually add loft or come into impact more like this. So you're taking the loft of your club and you're increasing it. So where I hit a 7-iron 180, 190 yards, or professionals probably hit it farther than that nowadays, talking about 200 yards, your average amateur hits a 7-iron about 150 yards. That's because of the loft at impact. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna spend some time working on trying to get through, trying not to flip at it, do a couple of drills and I got a toy here to play around with, something you can do at home, and we'll go from there. So what we'll do today, we'll hit a couple of normal shots, how I'd normally hit the ball. I'll hit a couple of flips for you so you can see how not the club head speed necessarily gets affected, but the ball speed, the launch angle, and spin rate, and how that'll decrease your distance and take away from anything you're gonna try to accomplish on the golf course. This is a big part of distance loss. This is a big part of inconsistency, all those things. So let's do that. Let's hit a couple of balls. We'll look at the data, break it down just so we can give you a better idea how you can use your Skytrak to help you improve and what numbers you need to look at to help you improve your distance and your consistency at the same time. Okay, so just like normal, anytime you're using the Skytrak, get the logo of the ball facing the Skytrak. Let me hit a couple of 7-irons. I have it marked as 8-iron on here just so we can get different colors. The blue will be the good shots, the red will be the bad shots. Got a little pull. We'll go one more so we've got 3 to look at and get an average out of it. Training aids. When I was teaching, I always had one of these around. We call it the Punisher, extended club, whatever you want to call it. Basically, all I've done with this is I took an old 7-iron, or actually this is a 5-iron. We've taken an alignment stick and shoved it down in there, okay? It's probably too long. I don't need it to stick out quite that far. But what this does is this really helps you understand where you're at the bottom. If you flip, you're gonna hit yourself. Use an alignment rod because it doesn't hurt that bad. But what you can do is take little baby half swings with this, literally trying to hit the ball as low as you possibly can, just to work on getting rid of the flip. That'll also help you rotate your body through, because if you stop and flip, you're gonna hit yourself and it doesn't feel good. We're not gonna take any full swings with it because you can't, but it's just little half swings. I recommend doing this with a wedge and practicing chipping and pitching with it, just so you have those little shots and learn how to take your hands out of it. So for the bad shots, all I'm gonna try to do is add a flip at the bottom. I'm not gonna change anything else and make any crazy swings. I'm just gonna try to flip a little bit earlier. I did change the color of the line, so you'll see a red line for the bad shots, and then hopefully we can get an understanding of what that causes, just that one mechanical change, how that causes faults in your swing, eat your distance and stuff like that. There we go. A true bad shot. This is hard to do. Hit that one flush for a flip. Let's do one more just so we have a little bit of a... So the crazy part about that is I can still hit a draw like that and still get some distance out of it. Just a little bit of ball speed on that last one, but... So mechanically, a couple of things that can start a flip or begin a flip for you. It all starts at address in the grip. So a lot of times what you see is thumbs pointing down the shaft or the palms up, something like that. What you want to do is you want to be able to see a couple knuckles on the left hand. You want to be able to see at least one knuckle, if not two knuckles on the right hand, and make sure that your thumbs are on the opposite side of the middle of your club, right? So your left thumb will be slightly on the right side, your right thumb will be slightly on the left side. I like to think of this as a crease versus a V that you hear a lot about. So I like to crease it and then put that on top. Same thing with the right hand. Get interlock, overlap, that doesn't really affect the flip dramatically. I actually, seemingly enough, have played with the baseball grip for 40 years. So grip starts. Part two of mechanics that'll cause a lot of flips is your backswing. So during your backswing, you see a lot of sway, you get a lot of lift and a big swing trying to get fast, and all that does is waste energy at the bottom, and then by the time you get there, you're out and you flip it. Okay, so you watch my golf swing enough on these videos to see that it's not very long and it's very fast on the way through, right? So strong grip, get it in the fingers, feel like you take your swing back to about 9 o'clock, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the handle or the butt of the club and try to drive it through impact and not add loft. We're gonna take loft off. And that's really the big part of the flip. So fingers, 9 o'clock, and drive. And those are the big things to really help you increase distance, help you increase consistency, because you don't have extra moving parts and stuff like that. Let's break down the numbers a little bit and get an idea of where we're at. Okay, so what we'll do here is we're just gonna look at the averages. Right now, like I have a hard time flipping in my golf swing because I've trained it in my brain not to allow my body to do that. But the big numbers we're gonna look at are ball speed. We can see the average of 123 on the top versus 112 on the bottom. The bottom would be the flip. We see the launch angle, 14.4 versus 18. 18 is not a bad launch angle, but I'd say a lot of flippers, I'm usually seeing 22, 23 degrees of launch angle, so it really eats up some of that distance. And then bust it down over here to, we'll say carry distance, for instance, 177 average on the top versus 160 on the bottom. So that's 17 yards with relatively similar club head speeds and stuff like that, right? So the club head speed was only 6 miles an hour difference. But that ball speed at 11 miles an hour difference, that's a big difference. So having a flip really does suck a lot of distance out. It sucks a lot of speed out. And it's just difficult to be consistent with that. I hit probably 7 shots in there with the flip before I ever made solid contact. And these were all actually really solid contact with the flip. So in your own game, you might see a lot of fat shots, a lot of thin shots. Sometimes you'll flush one, like I had one shot in here that carried 169 with a flip, and I know it was a flip because the launch angle was up, but pay attention to those numbers. We'll say launch angle, ball speed, spin rate's another one. The spin rate was a little bit higher. I would actually expect it to be higher than that. And then club head speed. Just kind of pay attention to those numbers to help you understand how to do this. If you like what you've seen today, like and subscribe to the channel. You can always comment down below. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. And always find us at shopindoorgolf.com. If you have any questions about any enclosures, launch monitors, you can always hit us up on our chats or give us a call. Thanks for watching.